Eric. Thanks for having me on here. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. I know
Okay.
one of the things that when you and I were talking about this, we were trying to figure out a topic, title, whatever we wanted to talk about there is why is ABS the best low-cost medical billing business model out there? I thought before we start answering that question, I thought I'd kind of share with the group here and then because one of the questions that we probably need to answer is there a market for this? You want to kind of tell us is there a continued market in this?
Yeah, absolutely. In a word, yes. Basically, since this business started, since ABS started, we have seen continued growth in the market that we're in, which is, we call it the revenue cycle management market. It's also known as RCM. So if you hear people talking about RCM, this is what we're talking about. What is RCM? Revenue cycle management is helping doctors focus on practicing medicine, which is all that they want to do, and helping them with every single other aspect of their business, basically. Because there are many different little points within the doctor's revenue cycle that if you are not doing them exactly right, if you forget to dot an I or if you forget to cross a T, that could potentially cause insurance claims to be denied. And insurance companies are finding every possible way to not pay doctors if they can get away with it. And so if you have someone helping the doctors manage their revenue cycle, then they get to bring in more money, the money that's owed to them, and not have to worry about chasing down money or dealing with paperwork or even dealing with a lot of extra staff people, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. So that's exactly what the revenue cycle management market is, and it's growing, as you can see, to be projected to be $286.7 billion by 2028. So for any of you on this webinar, every single one of you can get a tiny little piece of that and be doing really well and make a successful business out of what we're about to show you today.
Yeah, and we've even talked about, Adam, on other webinars that you can actually get your return on investment within the first year with just one doctor. And you talk about being a low-cost medical billing business model. Obviously, that's one of those strengths there. We're always looking for articles and different quotations that are outside of American business systems, but this one from the doctor-patient article, which is from the Medical Association Foundation. They say 2 out of 3 doctors say they're just squeaking by or in the red financially.
Exactly right. And we see these kind of articles all the time. I mean, I have, Google News alerts that sends me this kind of stuff. And it's just amazing because every day it seems like the government is coming out with new, medical codes that they have to use. And, they're entirely changing the entire payment model of how, what doctors are supposed to do and the order they're supposed to do it in order for them to get paid for Medicare and things like that. So it's just become more and more of a challenge for the doctors to, make sure that those claim forms are filled out properly. And we're going to kind of explain the claim process here in just a minute, but it's really a challenge for them, and they're not making near as much money as people may think that they are. I mean, they do really well. Don't get me wrong. Doctors do really well, but a lot of times they're not getting paid the correct amount that they should be getting paid for a particular claim or something that they did for a patient. And it really takes a lot of kind of going back and forth with the insurance companies sometimes. And, if one of our owners can be be an advocate for the doctor and take care of all that stuff for them, it really makes a huge difference, in the doctor's bottom line. And of course, you get to make money too. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I love what you said there, that, you're basically becoming an advocate for the doctor. And one more little thing here, statistic wise, the New England Journal of Medicine, their quotation is that market analysis estimates that 24 cents out of every dollar wasted on administrative and billing expenses. And that's basically what you were talking about there. And we're actually going to show you a breakdown in a graph here in just a moment of if a doctor's doing billing in-house versus having it done outsourced, and being that advocate for that doctor. You're going to find out that that is a huge way of helping that doctor make more money And then if you're helping that doctor make more money, then obviously it's helping you make more money and getting your name out there. So Adam, here's what I wanted to kind of start off with. So I'm asking you the question. What makes ABS the best? And I just took a little screenshot from one of the franchise sites that are out there. So just in a nutshell, just speak and just talk to us. So why does ABS make the best opportunity out there?
That is an excellent question, Eric, and I'm glad you asked that. So for any of you on the webinar that have been doing research in this industry, I guess, maybe you're looking for some type of business in healthcare. Maybe you're not quite sure what you want to do, or maybe you've been specifically looking at medical billing training courses. There's a lot of courses you can take, online, in person, your local community college. There's a lot of different software systems out there, that you could use if you wanted to. So there's a lot of different ways to get into medical billing and healthcare. And honestly, the barrier to entry into medical billing is actually very, very, very low, which is to your advantage, because there's a lot of people that have started a medical billing business without the backing of someone like us, without any resources, without any partners, without any support. And they really, they have no idea how to market their business. They may have all of this technical knowledge in their mind. They may know how to do claims, they may know how to do coding, but they have no one helping them actually find business and helping them close deals. We actually interviewed one of our owners many, many years ago. We interviewed one of our owners who was very successful. And he said, hey, you know what? I actually went back and did the math on, what I paid for the ABS business package versus what I would be paying if I had kind of pieced all of this stuff together and came up with my own marketing materials and bought software, paid for training. And he said, I would have paid a heck of a lot more money trying to piece all this stuff together than what you guys, charged me. And at that point, we said, if you would like to give us more money, we'd be more than happy to take more money from you. No, I'm just kidding. We didn't do that. But if you do the math, really this investment that we have is very, very reasonable for what you get. And the fact that you can make your entire investment back with just one doctor in about a year, maybe less. I mean, there's no other business opportunity with that type of, return potential. So that's why we're excited about it.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the other things is that I'm sure there are others out there, and we're talking about pricing, low cost pricing.
Don't name any names now.
I'm not naming any names. Just got the stuff out there. But yeah, you sent this to me kind of just to do a little look-see here of what other people are charging to get involved in medical billing.
Yes, thanks for posting this up here. So we have a couple of competitors out there that are offering, similar types of programs. I just lost the screen there. What happened?
Yep, there you go.
Oh, there it goes.
Yep.
And so I just wanted to give you guys a little example, a little idea of, kind of a comparison to what some of the other companies are charging out there. As you can see, we have a primary competitor that is going up in their price next year. And they have several different packages that you have to try to figure out, what makes the most sense, for what you want. And basically, their package, they basically have done a lot of limiting in the services that you can offer. They have an older traditional CD-based software program that they built in 1994 that they charge you, a lot of extra money for more users, additional users, and updates, and you have to take care of your own backups, and it's much more of a hassle than our cloud platform. But if you look at, basically their package, that's like they call their director package. If you can see down there at the bottom, it's kind of blurry, but they only offer 3 years of support, even with their most expensive package. We have decided, what, if someone needs help anytime, no matter if they went through the program yesterday or 20 years ago, we will help them with any type of technical or marketing issue. And we do a lot to help, like I said, we do a lot to help on the marketing side, closing the deals, and on the back end as far as technical support. So we're offering a lot more for the price that you get. And so that's kind of the point that I was just trying to make with this is we would be the best choice, the most reasonable price for the value that you're getting, with the package that we've got.
No doubt.
It's basically you would have to spend, look, what does it say? 50 grand. You'd have to spend 50 grand to get a package that's somewhat equivalent to ours, but you don't even get lifetime support, and there's no money back guarantee, and there's no cloud-based software with this competitor. So anyway, that's all on that one.
And I see there is that there's a 3-year, 3-stage training. Again, as Adam says, there's continued training, and we'll talk a little bit more about that too as well with ABS. So there's no additional fees that you go along with it. And I think one of the greatest things, and one of the things that we all probably ought to contribute to Patrick, and that is, building, not just getting people involved in medical billing through American Business Systems, but the partnership through, like with the organization with MIRMA, pulling all of these companies together, all these different business owners together under one umbrella, and having that support where we're not working against each other, but we're really working with each other.
Yeah, exactly right. And I don't know if you have I don't think you have another slide for this, but we have a lot of different ways for you to connect with, not only with our support team, internal support team, but also our external network of licensee coaches and experts that we have. So it starts with our support website. So when you become a licensee, you get lifetime access to our private intranet. You'll get a lifetime login, and there's hundreds of hours of training videos. And yeah, there it is right there. I think maybe you were going to give a little sneak peek there. But hundreds of hours of continuing education with videos. Our support team is available immediately on the phone. We have a toll-free phone number. I don't think we have a fax number anymore. I don't think there's any reason to fax. But we have, but we can do support tickets and phone. You call. I mean, heck, you could call our 800 number right now and press 2, and you'd probably get a live answer.
Sure.
So yeah. So and then the secondary thing is we have a network through our private Facebook group. I know some of you, Facebook, yuck, but it's actually been very helpful. We have hundreds of experts on the Facebook group as well that you can reach out to and get help and coaching from, people that are out there running their business. So that's the beauty of being a part of this ABS network, is you get hundreds and hundreds of people that are so super smart with how to do billing for certain specialties, how to do coding, how to help doctors customize their software. Any little thing that you might need help with, we've got somebody that can do it and help you do it. So that's what we mean by network. Yeah.
So Adam, before we go on to the next one there, which kind of goes right along with training, I'm going to put this slide up here. Thomas is asking, any residual costs? What will it cost to train additional team members?
Good question, Thomas. So first of all, we have a 60-page research guide document. It's a PDF document. If you don't have that, we can send you a link to it. Just ask. And that goes into a lot of detail on all the services that you can offer, how they work, what kind of money you can make on each service. And there is a page that talks about potential operational costs, which are very, very, very low. Anything like, setting up your entity, you'll have a little bit of a cost there, purchasing your domain name, website, hosting. There's just a few little things like that. But you don't need any office space. You can work from home. The system runs on any computer with internet, so it doesn't matter what kind of computer you have. Now, your question specifically, what will it cost to train additional team members? So here's how we do that. We have an initial training that is done with one of our instructors live online, and it's 10 modules that are 90 minutes apiece. Now, those modules cover every aspect of the business. The technical stuff, all the services, all the marketing methods, all the business development, methods that we're going to help you with, how much money you're going to be making on all the services, revenue, income, all that. So those are meant for the owners of the business and any spouses, business partners, managers, and you can have as I mean, we've had up to, 6 or 7 people on a training at one time, and there's no additional cost for that. As long as you guys are all on the same modules at the same time, we don't do any extra cost for the training. Now, if you get to the point where you're going to start hiring sales reps or data entry people, we have all of the training available for those folks on our private support website, which is up to you to provide to those people. But we have training on the services, how much, how to sell the services, data entry, lots. We have a huge library of software training that they can go through. So that's up to the owner of the business to provide that to their new hires down the road whenever that happens. So hopefully that answers that question.
Absolutely. And then Mahmoud is asking, do you have to work full time for this business, and how many hours a week does it require? Matter of fact, we answered that question in last Wednesday's webinar. So to give you the short answer, you don't have to work full time at this. You can start off full time. Part time as you're building it to full time. So if you get a chance, go back, and we're going to show you where to find that a little bit later. And so we'll show that to you. But the online training is wonderful because Adam, we used to do it live, which was great. We enjoyed the 5 days of bringing everybody in, but we found out that having the live online training and then letting the people that have joined and become business owners, allowing them to bring in more people on board, we found greater success for that. So wonderful move on that.
Yeah, it's still live, but it's done with a real person, but it's done online through a series of Zoom sessions. Yeah, so we have found that to work really, really well. We actually went to an online training before COVID, which was just very fortuitous that we did that because, well, I'm sure everyone knows what happened with that. So just to go back to Mahmoud's question, how many hours a week does it require? In the beginning, if you're doing it part-time, you can do it as you have time. I mean, there's a lot of people that they have another job that they can't quit right away, and so they have to do it part-time. But the good news is the marketing of the business and the work that you do, the claim processing work, both of those can be done in the off hours. So you can get it all done, first thing in the morning, lunch break, afternoons, evenings, weekends. So it does work around a busy schedule, but obviously if you're doing it part-time, it's going to take you a little bit longer to get your clients signed up. But we have people that have done it all the time. So it is definitely doable. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up this next slide here in reference to Richard's question. And folks, one of the great things that you're going to get with being part of American Business Systems as a business opportunity, and that is the expertise that comes along with it. And when I'm talking about that is that whenever you do have a doctor that is looking maybe to join forces with you, and we're going to do the live demonstrations of the software. So again, to kind of go back to what Richard's saying here, he's gone out and looked on the net, looked at some of his potential competitors out there for billing. And it says that some of these folks have had 15 to 20 years of experience. How can I be competitive with this kind of competition? Well, when you're part of ABS, you automatically gain 28, and let's go ahead and say it, Adam, at this point, 29 years of experience back behind you because of the team, the support team that you have. You're not out there by yourself. You just basically opened up a new billing office that is part of, again, the nation's largest group of independent medical billers that's basically within your area. We've got several years of experience, and we do billing for doctors all over the country and all types of specialties. So Adam, you want to talk a little bit more about that and maybe even how this live demo works for our brand new business owners?
Yeah. So Richard, going off of what Eric said there, we teach you exactly how to present yourself so that you are a part of a nationwide network that's almost 30 years old, and you have tons of resources behind you and experts behind you working for you. So we show you, whenever we teach you how to go out and build your business and start marketing, we get very specific on what networking groups you should join, what to say to people when you're there and you meet them, what to say when it's your turn to stand up and tell everybody who you are and what you do. Like, we've come up with some really cool ways to present yourself so that, you're building your credibility by leaning on, ABS's years in business. And, we can provide references and all kinds of stuff to help doctors, want to work with you as well. The other thing on that is 15 to 20 years of experience. That doesn't really mean jack squat if the billing company isn't doing a good job.
That's correct.
So that's another big question is, hey, a doctor may be working with a billing company that's been around for 20 years, but what is your current rejection rate? How long is it taking you to get paid? Are you HIPAA certified? Are you, protected from any HIPAA audits or Medicare audits? There's a lot of different questions that we have that you can ask in a practice analysis that we teach you how to do, where you can really start to uncover a lot of issues that a doctor may not even realize were going on. And that could be a company that's been in business for 20 years, but maybe they just have gotten complacent. Maybe they have a crummy, non-cloud-based software system, and they're just not doing good customer service for that doctor. So, just the length of time in business doesn't necessarily mean that you wouldn't be able to compete. I guess that's my point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And plus with us doing these demos, and again, this is to me where we've helped more brand new people that have just gotten started just directly out of training. They already had some leads. They worked a couple of leads. They got the practice analysis in front of the doctor, which we're going to show you here in just a moment. And then getting them into this live demonstration with a specialist that's going to be able to work with that doctor. It's almost hands down, you're going to end up, I think we've kind of still closing 50% of these for you. So it's part of everything that you're getting. And along with all of the marketing material that's been out there. And again, we'll talk a little bit more about that. And even as Adam said, the coaching that's back behind you and the people that are here to help support you is pretty extensive. That the network, again, that ABS, both with Adam and Patrick, have built there for our business owners here at American Business Systems. Adam, and we've kind of talked about some of the things that what you get with ABS once you joined. There may be a few folks on here, again, brand new folks that are looking into this, wanting to kind of know what is medical billing. So I thought I'd just walk us through real quickly about what it is. And once you kind of explain again, you've kind of shared a little bit about it, but medical billing is nothing more than the patient goes to the doctor, they've got insurance, somebody needs to file that insurance claim. So again, that doctor gets paid.
That's right. It's a process that seems simple on the surface. And it can be, the basics of doing medical billing can be simple and easy to learn, but there are a lot of nuances.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned at the beginning of this webinar that if these claims that are filed, to the insurance companies, if there's any little thing that's wrong, if there's a T that's not crossed or an I that's not dotted, the insurance company is going to reject or deny that claim. So you need to really make sure that you have an efficient process for doing these claims properly. And the really cool news is that the system that we use takes care of a lot of that stuff for you. So our iClaim platform that we're going to talk about, it is a truly cloud-based platform. So in other words, we are always updating the system behind the scenes. You never have to worry about downloading any updates or anything like that. So anytime there's changes to the codes, the medical codes, anytime there's any little changes, the software is already updated. And so using our system, the doctors are going to absolutely improve their revenue, lower their claim rejections, lower their claim denials, because of the fact that everything is so correct on that claim the first time, because the system is always up to date. So we make it easy.
Yeah, and you mentioned that dreaded thing there. I'm sure a lot of people are concerned about, but what about the codes? And really, at the end of the day, folks, it's really the responsibility of the doctor to provide the medical codes to the billing company. Now, there are some doctors that might need some help with coding. And it looks like Stephanie is asking, hey, Adam, can you go over some of the ancillary services, specifically, how much revenue owners typically make with some of these virtual services? But talking about ancillary services, I want you to go in real quickly about the ancillary services with CodeWrite and Audit Guard, and how that actually helps provide the necessary codes so nobody has to go to become a professional coder.
Right. So anyone on this webinar, if you have been researching medical billing, usually everything you'll see out there says you have to be certified in coding. You have to know coding. And to an extent, that's correct. But we have a lot of different ways to get the coding done, like Eric said. So for starters, the cloud-based system that we have is always up to date, the latest, greatest codes always, because the coding database does change occasionally. And so a lot of the doctors that use our system, the system makes it so easy for the doctors to select their own codes. There's codes that go along with every diagnosis out there, medical diagnosis. There's also codes that go along with every type of treatment that the doctors do. That's what the codes are for. And so our system makes it super easy for doctors to choose their own codes. Now, you may sign up a doctor, to do billing for the doctor, and he or she says, you know what, I have a lot of different codes I'm trying to manage, and I don't really have time or the desire to do my own coding, and I don't have a coder on staff. Can you help me with coding? And so that is when you would offer this ancillary service here called CodeWrite. So we have certified coders who will log into the iClaim system and take a look at the doctor's chart, the patient chart, and they will make the determination on what codes are supposed to be used, and they will code the claim on your behalf. And that's a service that you can charge extra money for on top of the percentage that you're charging for doing the billing work. So our coder goes in, does the coding, they send the claim to you, you do the billing part that we teach you how to do. That's it. So it's an additional resource for you, additional money stream for you. And it's just nice because you don't have to go through 2 years of coding school. You don't have to be certified in coding. I mean, any knowledge that you have is going to be helpful, but it's just not something that you have to be certified for. Yep. Stephanie says, that's awesome. That's exactly. Great. I'm glad you like that answer. So yeah, we're going to cover a couple other ancillary services on here, Stephanie. So,
and you can stay in with the whole part about coding. There's another part about coding, utilizing the same certified professional coders, that if you've got a doctor that's unsure that they're assigning the right codes before that they are audited either by Medicare or one of the other insurance companies out there, you could actually take that doctor through an audit, so a preliminary audit, and see if there's anything that they need to correct. And they could find that they've been actually undercoding, which means they're not getting all the money that they could be getting. So when you're going through your training, you may be finding out that this might be a great lead in to say, hey, doc, before I start doing your billing, let's run your codes and everything through our Audit Guard system. Let's make sure that you're charting properly, you're coding properly, making sure that you're getting the max amount of money that you can be getting. Because one thing you don't want to do is overcode and have those insurance companies or Medicare kind of claw that money back. And so these are some very important ancillary services that is pro for outsourcing billing, where I want to kind of go to. We've got 25 more minutes here, and I really want to kind of go into, Adam, about some of the challenges that in-house billing poses to the doctors, because we've talked about that a little bit. I'm going to kind of go through these quickly because I'm going to get to the chart here, and I want you to talk through the chart. But the number one is the lack of quality and effective medical billing resources. And as you can see already, ABS already has several medical billing resources. Number two, the trouble of staying up to date with the latest guidelines. Adam's already mentioned to you that within our iClaim system, we're keeping up with the latest guidelines and everything else that needs to go along with the coding. The third thing is the frequency of those codes changing, and that increases claim denials. And if you're utilizing a system that you've had to download to your computer and then keep downloading all these different new codes that come in, and you're having to keep up with that, you're already behind the curve. And that's not going to happen with our system. And then the late of handling, denied, and or rejected claims. So another in-house billing challenge, I'm going to put this chart up here, because a lot of people, Adam, think that if the doctor has their own people, their own employees doing their billing, obviously they have to be making more money.
That's right. Yeah, this little chart right here is a good reminder of all the different costs and things that doctors have that they don't think about at all when it comes time to talk about, billing and getting their billing done. So just take a look at this chart right here. You can see, it typically takes 1.5 people. When that says 1.5 billing employees, what that's meaning is most medical practices do not have a singular dedicated biller. Right. Okay. Most medical practices, they have somebody who is doing the billing and 100 other things throughout the day. So that's where we come up with that number. But yeah, you can just take a look at that and you can see there's all these different little fees that add up to $95,000 a year for all this stuff. And all that stuff is out the window, and they don't have to pay any of that if they're having somebody outside the office do it. Now, the other question that I get is some people on this webinar are probably thinking, well, does that mean somebody has to get fired? Does somebody has to lose their job? Not necessarily. There are a lot of situations where if you can take just the billing function out of the office and you do that actually frees up the staff to do everything else that they have to do throughout the day. So they can be more efficient in their daily duties, and the doctor can focus on practicing medicine, and you focus on doing the billing, and you're going to get the doctor paid more money because the claims won't be rejected and they'll get paid faster, and it's really a win-win situation for everybody that way. There are of course circumstances where a doctor has overhired and is paying too much money for too many staff people. So yeah, there might be a circumstance where you can show a doctor this analysis that we teach you how to do, and you basically will show them these columns and say, look, here's what your employee staff cost is. It's too dang high.
That's right.
So there may be circumstances like that, but a lot of times, if he's got his spouse or his Aunt Edna in the back room doing the billing, we don't have to fire Aunt Edna. She can do something else.
Yeah, and what's great is that remember, you're becoming a certified medical revenue manager, not just a medical biller. And if you're thinking smart, very smartly, and you might even help the doctor go, you know what, don't let those people go. You've already got a good trained staff. How about hiring a mid-level, like a nurse practitioner, to come join you? You can see more patients. Now you're putting these people to work, helping get more people in the office. So there's many different ways of helping showing that doctor how they can actually increase their revenue. Because again, you get another mid-level in there, that now you got 2 providers that you're doing billing for. You basically almost doubled your revenue just because of you helping that doctor think a little bit broader on some different things there. So just thinking about getting that billing out of the office is one of the biggest things, and that a doctor can and should be doing. And then you can turn those people into profit instead of cost centers. So those are some of the things that a lot of our business owners have helped our doctors. And then plus the advantage of outsourcing. That's really what I want to kind of spend the rest of this time on, Adam. And you mentioned earlier that iClaim and EMRX is all kind of one thing here. And but there's that little thing over here in the left-hand corner called a clearinghouse. I know that maybe our competitor might say, well, no, you got to get a choice of your clearinghouse. Why don't you talk about the advantage of having our own clearinghouse all wrapped up within our entire system?
Well, I don't like to get too technical on these webinars, but a clearinghouse, in a nutshell, it allows a software system to make the highest level of connections to outside systems like insurance payers, pharmacies, labs, different things like that. And it does a valuable function. It reformats the claim. the medical claim, and it checks it out, and it does what's called scrubbing, which does some error checking and all that sort of thing. So it provides a valuable service. The cool thing is the same team that we have that built the iClaim system, the EMRX system, the patient portal, the telemedicine system, also built the clearinghouse. And so we're actually very unique in the market because we're not using a third-party clearinghouse. We're using the same one that was built by the same development team that built all these other platforms. So that makes it very, very efficient, and everything moves back and forth very, very, very quickly. We can give you a demo of the system if you haven't seen it yet. We can show you how fast the system moves around, and it's really cool because you change one little thing over here and it shows up instantly over here, and so on and so forth. So it just it makes it much better, easier for you, because you as an end user, you never have to worry about, because some other systems, you've got to use multiple different clearinghouses, and it becomes kind of like confusing. Well, this clearinghouse, works with these insurance payers, and this one works with these insurance payers, and which one do I use? But this one with us, you just send the claim, and it doesn't matter what the insurance payer is. It's going to go through it, and it's going to get paid without you having to worry about the clearinghouse. So
so you can see, we just illustrated it really briefly here. As Adam said, you got the patient portal side. You can check in. You can even do telemedicine right through there. The doctor has their EMR system, which is all, again, built in. And then the clearinghouse is built into the billing system. What better way could you do that? I've had so many doctors that I've done demos for, they go, they thought it worked like that in the first place. They really didn't realize that sometimes that you got to have some third party organization tied into your billing system just to get the claim out to the insurance company. So folks, this just makes sense. And you can't get that with any other billing opportunities that are out there. Plus, just again, all the different advantages that we do have, again, being backed by a major player in the whole industry in itself, NextGen, that gives the doctor and their staff and you as their medical billing company all these different aspects of it. So, are there advantages? Yes, here they are. We've talked about the disadvantages just from brief, talk about the advantages of outsourcing. Obviously, it streamlines everything from patient scheduling to collections. That's what you got to think about. There's this unbroken source or stream of how things go. There's nothing that's going to happen that's going to fall off on the table and you have to blame somebody else for it. Boost profitability because it's focused. It's just you're the focused group of people, because if the doctor's not making money, you're not making money. And obviously you want to make money. So there's an incentive there for that. It reduces the amount of claims rejected, like we've already mentioned. And then it focuses the AR, the accounts receivables, to produce a positive cash flow for that particular doctor. So, Adam, I think we've got it all wrapped up in here with all the different services. We've talked about iClaim. We've talked about EMRX. I thought about, let's talk a little bit as we're kind of wrapping up here. We got about 15 minutes here, and I thought I'd start getting into how we get to market and how we utilize the different marketing pieces that are out there. Because now we're going to talk about, where's the proof? The proof of outsourcing. Well, how does it come out to be? And then what these new business owners that are on the call today and the future ones that might listen a little bit later, what are they getting from ABS to help them get their first doctor?
Well, you're getting every piece of the puzzle, Eric. You're getting the software system that we mentioned. You're getting several thousand marketing pieces that you see here. And we actually customize these marketing pieces for you. So once you go through our training, we teach you how to set up your own business entity. So you're not going to be operating as American Business Systems. You're going to be your own business, your own company, which means that you truly are an independent business owner, and you can run the business from home or however you see fit. You can hire people to do the work for you. You can do all the work yourself. Totally up to you. But we help you come up with your name, your logo. We actually take that information and print it on all of these marketing materials that you see. You get your own website as well. We have about 8 or 9 different templates that we have, and you just pick the one that you want. and that's included in your package as well. And we put your name and logo up on that website. And so it's just really neat because, when it comes time to compete against those other real, crummy mom and pop medical billers that I mentioned, they came up with some kind of, flyer on their home computer that looks like crud, to be honest. And we've spent thousands of dollars having all these materials professionally developed and professionally printed. So they're on really nice, thick, glossy paper, and you get these really nice presentation folders that we put together for you. So, even if you are working out of your garage, the doctors are not going to have a clue. They're going to think you are a legit business owner with a legit business, and that's what you are. So yeah, that's what we've come up with for you. Lots of good stuff.
Before we move off of this, I'm going to read this question to you, Adam, from Richard. And he says, sorry for a change of topic, but does ABS provide warm pre-screened leads for the owners, or does one have to go through the phone book and an extensive list? So you want to talk about the warm list or leads that are given maybe from other competitors, or at least the what they think that might be a warm lead?
Yes. Richard says your competition offers leads, although the licensee must pay for each lead. I think they're actually offering, last time I saw, they're offering 300 leads, so allegedly warm leads. I don't know if they have to pay for each one or what. I think those might be included. But here's the problem, Richard. As good as that sounds, it's not. So, several years ago, we actually tried giving out lead lists to people. We even tried an appointment setting service. This was many years ago. Like we've tried out different things to try to help people, and those did not work, because no matter what the company that's giving you these leads tells you about how warm they are not. And what you're doing is you're essentially cold calling on these leads, and they've never heard of you. There's been no warm introductions. They don't know anybody that and they haven't heard of you from anybody, and so they don't know you from Adam. You know what I mean? And so we have not had much success with calling these lead lists. Now we can actually show you that you can go online right now and purchase lead lists for any industry you want, including healthcare, including medical billing. You can purchase a lead list. You can get as many, 500 leads, 1,000 leads, 10,000 leads, and they will tell you these are the hottest leads. These guys are ready to sign up, and that just isn't reality. I actually talked with someone recently who actually went through our competitor's program, and it was they were pretty frustrated because they said that Richard said they are separate from the 300 list of doctors. The doctor has requested medical billing. Okay. So apparently they're telling people it's a list of doctors that have requested medical billing services. Well, we haven't found that to be very helpful, because doctors only want to work with people that they know, like, and trust. And so there is a process that we have come up with, a proven process, by the way, of getting business mostly through referrals. And so we show you how to tap into your existing warm network, people that you know. We show you how to join all the right different business networking groups and organizations so that you can start promoting your company and telling people who you are and what you do. There are a lot of people in other industries that work with doctors, but they don't do what our owners can do. And so we show you how to tap into that resource and build relationships with those people to become a strategic partner with those people. So that's been our number one method. That has worked really, really well. That's going to get you business the fastest. Anytime that we've had people that get a lead list, they end up spinning their wheels. They might get lucky on a call or two, but much, much more effort required to close deals with those lead lists. So that's why we don't do it anymore, Richard. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, and he says, "Got it, thank you." And you know what? We can't convince you one way or the other, except to say, you're going to get an opportunity to talk with some of our licensees or business owners, and you get to talk with them. And as Adam said, we've looked at everything from buying leads to getting doctors, said yes, they're ready to go. But again, folks, the reason that you're even considering doing business with us is because you're getting to know who we are. And that's the big thing with doctors. Doctors have been burned by medical billing companies out there, especially, if they come to find out that you've just started, or if you're really truly backed up with a company that's been around for 29 years. That's the big thing. And obviously, when we do these online demonstrations, our competitor doesn't do that. This is an area in which we go an extra step beyond of helping you just try to find what a warm lead might look at through, but actually getting kneecap to kneecap with your potential doctor. Remember, we're not doing medical billing. We're here to help support you to get to get medical billing done. And so when we're doing that and we do these online demonstrations for you, you can't get any better than that, because that's really where the rubber meets the road. And then once you get started, you've got an entire network of people to help you out with that. Adam, as we're kind of wrapping up here, I'm going to talk about one of the books that you co-wrote with Dr. Rackner, and then the New Thriving Medical Practice, and how this actually is one of the number one ways in which you get through, you break through, you get that doctor to say, please give me a call. I want to talk with you. What's the next step that I need to do?
Yeah. So I'm sorry, you were asking about this slide here, or?
Yeah, talk about how the marketing books, like the 9 Ways Doctors Lose Their Money and the New Thriving Medical Practice, helps a brand new business owner in medical billing get their first doctor, or at least start a discussion with that doctor.
Yes, absolutely. So Vicki Rackner is a retired surgeon that we partnered with several years ago. She has shifted her business model and retired from practicing medicine. And she now runs a company that teaches people how to market to doctors. And she focuses on financial planners, as well as helping our medical billing business owners market to doctors. And so she has a wealth of knowledge that she has written down in several different books, as a matter of fact. And if you look on our website, you can see that there's been a handful of other books that we've written, co-written with her. But this is the latest one that came out that I co-wrote with her. And it's essentially a book to educate doctors on, ways that they can, help avoid losing money and improving their revenue cycle. And it's just got a lot of helpful information in there for the doctors. And the point of it all is to do a couple of things. One, it's to actually educate the doctor on revenue cycle management and different things that they can do to improve, because we have realized very early on that doctors, they don't like to be sold something, but they do love to be educated. They love to learn. They love to read. And so this is why we came up with this book. So you can give them this book as a free gift to a doctor or an office manager. And we actually show you how to highlight certain areas with little tabs in these books, so they don't have to read the whole thing. They can thumb through it very quickly and get the cliff notes. And they feel like they're getting some education from you as a consultant, without expectation of anything in return. And you know what that does? That's the model of reciprocity. When you provide something to someone, they have an urge to feel like, hey, we should probably connect because this person was sharing this information with me, So that's what these books are for. The other thing that we do is we have a book called the New Thriving Medical Practice book. And this one, we actually print your name on the cover of the book as the author of the foreword of the book that we have already written for you. You can write your own if you want to, but we have one already written. And so guess what? This is a huge credibility builder for you. You can give the doctor this free book, this free gift. And this one is kind of similar, where it helps them take a look at different things that they're doing right and doing wrong, and make improvements in their revenue cycle. It's really funny because we've actually had, so we've done some interviews with some licensees that said, yeah, I gave this book out to a doctor and he read it and he called me back and he said, I love the book that you wrote. That book was really, really helpful. Like the doctor thought that the licensee wrote the book, and she was like, no, 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 no. I just wrote the foreword. It was written by, Patrick Phillips and all that. But it was just kind of funny because it was that's how valuable it was as far as being a credibility builder. But there's this one and there's several others. And this is just an example of all the things that we've spent money on, coming up with different ways for you to stand out from the crowd. There's no other little crummy mom and pop medical billers out there writing books and giving books to doctors to educate them on revenue cycle and billing. No one's doing that. So that's why this is very valuable. And this is a part of your business package, when you become a licensee, is these books.
Well, I think we've answered within the short period of time we've already been able to do. It's already been an hour. We got 3 more minutes before at the top of the hour of answering, why is ABS the best low-cost medical billing business model? And hopefully we've been able to answer that for you. If not, get back with the person that asked you to come. They're going to talk with you a little bit more, but Adam, why don't you kind of walk through it helping not only be one of the best low cost, but one of the lowest risks of kind of getting going with the unconditional 30-day money back guarantee?
Yeah, so I don't know any other franchise opportunity that's offering this, but we do, because this is how much we believe in the quality of our training. It's very, very hard for us to get across to you exactly what is in the training without revealing all of our secrets, so we can give you as much information as we can, but it's still kind of like, I don't really know if this is for me or not. So that is exactly why we have this money back guarantee. This is not a guarantee that you will get, 10 clients in 30 days or any number of clients in a certain amount of time. That's not what this is for. This is to allow you to complete the entire training. Okay, the 10 modules that are 90 minutes apiece, so 15 hours of your initial training. So basically, you can go through the entire training with one of our instructors. You can see all the good, the bad, and the ugly about the business, everything about the business. And then at the end of the training, you'll know if this business is right for you or not. Usually what we hear from people is, oh my gosh, this is so much more opportunity than what I thought it was. That's what we usually hear. Every once in a while, someone will say, I don't feel like this is for me. And that's exactly why we have this guarantee, because we want people that are committed 110% to this to be out there selling, so that we make some money residual, when you put doctors on the software platform from the software company. So we want people to be committed to it. So if that's not you, you can ask for your money back. We'll give you 100% of your money back. And that's in writing in our agreement.
There you go. So we're going to take you through 6 quick steps that you can go through. Number 1 is Adam's already mentioned about the research guide. How do they get the research guide, Adam?
You can just contact your rep that invited you to this webinar. If you don't know who that is, you can send an email to feedback@absystems.com, and we can find out who your rep is and get you a link to that guide.
Good. And then browse our YouTube channel. I mentioned to somebody earlier that we answered some of those questions that you had today on the webinar that we did last Wednesday. And once you get there, you're going to find out that there's tons of webinars, and even some that we've actually done with some of the business owners that you can talk with, we've done interviews with. And the big other thing is you can do here is actually talk with other business owners. And I'm assuming, Adam, they can get that list from the rep that they're working with here as well.
Exactly right. We've got hundreds of interviews and testimonials on the YouTube page. But if that's not enough and you want to go a little bit further and talk to people yourself, we do have that owner list that we can send to you, names and phone numbers of real people out there running their business. And these are not all home run hitters, no offense, reference list, but there's people on there that have just a couple of clients and they're totally happy with that. They're pleased as punch. We also have people on there that are doing millions of dollars in revenue. So it's everybody in between. So you get a good idea, a different mix of personality types as well.
Awesome. And then we've already mentioned about the live demo, the ones that we do for you once you become a business owner here at ABS that we'll do for you with your doctor. But this is mainly for you. If you haven't seen a demonstration of the software, again, get back with the person that invited you, and then review the purchase agreement that I'm assuming that you've already looked at that. If not, I think, what is it, 4 pages long, Adam?
It's 5 now.
5, okay.
Yeah.
5 pages long.
Yeah, we've added some additional things that you get in your business package, and it bumped the page down a little bit, and so now we're on page 5 now.
Page 5.
But we do an e-sign version of that. We have a program called Zoho Sign, so it's all online now. We can send you a link and you can sign it online. It's pretty cool.
There you go. And then send in your agreement, get the funding, and get yourself scheduled. How far is training? If I wanted to get started this week, when do you think I could get started with training?
Oh boy, well, December is almost totally full. I think we may have a handful of spots left in December. If you want to get your training started, which I would highly recommend that you get your training started sooner rather than later, because doctors are ready for changes in the new year. Yeah. So you get in touch with your rep. We can maybe find a spot for you in December, but typically how it goes is when we get your signed agreement and we get your funding, we can usually have your first session booked within that week after that happening, usually. So it can start very quickly, typically.
There you go.
Yeah.
Adam, this hour went by fast, didn't it?
It did. Yeah, Stephanie's asking about dental. Yes, we have a dental package that you can offer. Yep. Simi is saying, interesting discussion today. Very nice. Thank you, Simi. And that looks like that's all we got.
I think it is. Adam, thanks so much for joining me this afternoon.
All right. Thanks, everybody. If you didn't get your question answered, just send us an email.
Will do. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you next Wednesday.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.